how social media and the algorithm and internet makes you trapped in the character that you build for the views and for the likes. So I see many bloggers, and I've been doing this 5 years. I've been observing the industry. They play a certain character, and then until you don't even know, are you playing a character or is that you? That's why it's so important to differentiate whenever you play a character. You could, like, say POV, you could put on some, I don't know, outfit, some wig, that you are just playing this character, but sometimes there is no line in between. And I see bloggers, influencers, they start to act this character because it gives the views, because it gives the likes, and it is business, but what if you're doing this for years and years and years? It's an identity crisis in its own form and shape of way. It's an identity crisis in its own way. And for myself, I have noticed that, especially when you, like, 17, I started, you're still forming your identity. You don't have a strong foundation of who you are. You are at a very crucial stage of growing up and developing, becoming an adult. So, and it could be a character, or it could be just the way you do content, and then after a few years that's not relevant anymore, but you still try to play that character because it gave you views once upon a time. It was relevant once upon a time. It was giving you likes and attention, so you click onto that because that's a dopamine rush. Wow, like this gave me 1 million views, so let me continue to do that. But then you realize how inconsistent the views and likes are, and that it doesn't mean that if you keep playing that character, you will always get those views and that dopamine and those likes and that attention. So I think the new stage of social media, and that is the reason that streaming is now famous and taking over, is because people wanna feel the real you now. People always feel when you're authentic. Every single person, you don't need to have sixth sense and everything. They feel when you're authentic, and they feel when you're scripted. So right now we're entering a stage where people, value that, and that's what's been popping for the last 2-3 years is streaming, is real people, real you. You're not playing a character, you're being yourself. And I think for those bloggers or people, celebrities who feel lost because they became trapped in the identity that they've built for the people, it's like a people pleasing in a sense. And Jim Carrey, I'm quoting Jim Carrey, he used to play this, like, The Mask, and this, like, over like extroverted, over performative, funny type of comedian character in all of his movies, and he came to identity crisis where he said that I became trapped in the identity that the society and my job industry has built. And that's what kind of happened to me, partially because people, just loved the funny. Like, I always kind of performed, like, you just make a video, you take like 10 times to record that video just to get the best version of it, the best angle, the best way that you say it. I would always, like, just like everybody else, like, re-record to get that perfect video that you think until you post. Now, what I've noticed is that I kind of lost what is me and what is performative. So, like, in person I would act totally different, and I kind of lost myself in real life, and because I just gave so much of myself online. And maybe it's a little bit in my head, but it's still valid, because being self-aware, you just kind of catch on to that, being in the industry so long. So what I started doing is I started being myself online and offline, trying my best. And if I play a character, it's clear that I'm playing a character. Like, I say it's POV, I say, it's like, because I'm funny also in real life, but because I've been doing this performative funny for so long online, I forgot how to be that offline. I don't know, it's just, I also had a little bit pleasing tendencies, so when you start to please the audience, you lose yourself, because you're like, okay, they said they want that, they said I shouldn't do that, they said I shouldn't say that, they said they want me like this, they said they want this type of, so you just kind of like start pleasing the people without having a strong foundation of who you are, and that means changing yourself. So I kind of noticed that, and I always took mental health breaks from social media. Like since I started, I took 6 months break, 3 months break, all the time. It's fascinating to me. I didn't care about, like, I just really needed to live in real life, you know, especially I was in college, like simultaneously when I was doing TikTok, and then like people will meet me in person and they're like, because I'm not that person that I'm playing online, because that is very performative to me, but that is still me. I always was funny, I always was like a comedian, like always butterfly of the company, you know, social butterfly, but I will be really shy in person because I just didn't know how to act. It's so weird to observe that, but now I broke off of that and I'm, you know, being myself in real life and in social media. I do my best, at least, and that's why I'm so attracted to YouTube for my mental health. Like I don't need to be performative, I can just chill and be myself. Since I've been doing this for so long, you know, I don't want to run and chase a certain number, like certain amount of views, certain amount of likes. Like I don't want to chase that anymore, especially in my case where my content was really built off of my personality. Okay, I know there is different type of content, people who like just do makeup, just do like fashion, do educational purely, like just kind of very detached from their identity, but I feel like my content was really built around my identity and my personality. That's why I have noticed this, and it was important for me to take that step back and see, okay, who I want to be from now on, who I want to be, how do I want to be perceived as, you know, how do I want to carry myself, how do I want to present myself. All of these are very important questions, not just for a blogger, for any person, you know. As you develop and evolve, we're constantly evolving, and content creation is very spiritual. Okay, very, very spiritual. Life is spiritual, money is spiritual. This is something I realized and realizing recently, honestly. Like I never thought money is spiritual, and I feel like I've always had like problems with money, but who doesn't? And again, it's very subjective, you know. To somebody what I have is very financially stable, to somebody it's not, to somebody it is. Like I understand my privilege as well, but with my businesses that I had, like my first English school, I had a drop shipping store with like a smart neck massager. I'll post a picture here. I had my obviously clothing brand. I'm wearing, by the way, a dress from my clothing brand, unreleased collection, coming 2026. And I just always like felt like the money was there, but it was never like what my expectation was, and my expectation was always really, really high. But then I realized that money is spiritual. Money will always, 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 at least majority of the time, is the result of your work. It's just a currency for good work or energy. So whatever that flows for you, whatever you're meant to do, is going to bring you money, and it's just a currency of that, you know. So if you don't have money, then you're not doing something spiritually right. So if you don't have money, you're not doing something that you're supposed to do, or you're just not, you know, content in like internally. So with social media, content creation is, and social media in general, one of the only female dominated industries. Okay, so that is why women are able to do social media so well. My theory, first of all, woman as an essence, as body, mental, physical, is very attractive. It's supposed to attract. It's a magnet. Face pretty, I know I could probably win a pageant, baby. They say I'm attractive, I be feeling like a magnet, baby. So you are supposed to be looked at, you're supposed to be a muse, you're supposed to teach. You know, women, our role, we are mentally strong, we're supposed to mentally guide, we're supposed to, you know, we are mothers, we literally bring kids and people into this world, and we teach them everything. So social media content creation is very like female dominated, because you want to look at a woman, you want to listen to a woman, and woman is very creative, again spiritual, very, you know, fashion, art, aesthetic. So that is why content creation to me is like magic. You create something out of nothing. You literally create something out of nothing. Like, to me it was always so fascinating. Yes, it's very toxic. Yes, it's probably like alien technology, fucking iPhones, you know, AI now. But shit, if somebody making money off of AI, it's me, because I'm gonna use that money right. You see all these greedy, fat uncles in suits getting money, hopping on the trend and trying to, like, you know, dominate the industry again, monopolize that shit so nobody else can. So support, help your sister out, okay? Support me. My new startup is artificial intelligence. My AI startup, my new business venture is dropping very soon. We're on the last stages of just doing final touches with my technical co-founder, and my AI is going to be about becoming famous. It's called Become Famous.ai. So it's going to help you become famous, and basically on the topic of everything, you know, it's going to help you navigate the social media industry. It's gonna help you navigate the dynamics within while staying authentic, while growing your brand, while monetizing. And I'm preparing this product. I'm excited because I'm gonna use that product myself. Like, I feel like I need that product for myself so bad. So that's how you know your shit is good, when you want to use it yourself, when you use it yourself. And I don't want to seem for this to seem like an advertisement. Of course it partially is, but I'm going to go back to the topic about my AI. Last words is, I've put, it's almost like my brain in the AI, but, you know, enhanced by AI. So it's not regular marketing advice. It's gonna help you just with everything that I have learned personally. I've fine-tuned, and it's fine-tuned with all of the marketing rules, all of the books that, you know, it's just basically has that fine-tuned in one, and you answer questions, and then it gives you a personalized report and interactive lessons based to tailored specifically for you and your case. So for example, if you're a rapper, if you are a writer, if you write poems, if you teach people how to play chess, there is space for social media for everyone. So going back to the topic, I believe anybody can become famous, you know, become famous. So right now social media is losing that separation from real life. And that is why authenticity right now is so attractive in social media, because social media is the new life. We go back to reality to get a break from social media, you know, it's the new reality. So anybody can be famous, anybody can have their community on social media, and it doesn't have to be millions of people. You can have 10,000 people and make more money than somebody who has a few $100,000, because 10,000 of those people are direct consumers, your direct audience to whatever you do. So if you do tarot reading, you know, you probably will be making more money off of having 10,000 followers than 100,000 followers of somebody, because you directly got those followers for this purpose. And when you know, when they say when you're trying to market to everyone, you market to nobody, that's also a lesson that I have to learn for myself, you know, trying to please everyone online, getting the hate that I have, making like historical, political content, very opinionated, you know. I will try to like please everyone. No, like and then now I learned, no, like my message is, and I'm gonna stand on business, my message is my message for a certain group. So that's with everyone. Like let's say for example Asian, Central Asian, Russian girl, I will not try and market to white girls, you know. And if I say, oh, why don't white girls follow me, you cannot think like that. You notice my followers is very Asian and black, and it's just like all of the colors I hate the word color. And I will also start doing one-on-one sessions because I want to become a life coach eventually, you know. I think that is my calling, or just something in that industry. I will always be making music. It's always my main kind of venture, but I've always been entrepreneurial, and I don't want to scratch that off, and I want to be an inspiration for people who may be in the same place as me, where they want to do everything. I want to do everything that I want to do because I know I can be good at everything. And music doesn't have a lot of money, I feel like, so having done all of the business I've done is just like, I don't know how to explain myself. I just always been entrepreneurial, and to me, running a business is also very like spiritual. It's totally spiritual, because if you cannot take care of yourself, you cannot take care of your business, and your business runs on you. So if you don't have your shit got like together, you will not have your business together as well. So what I learned is, you have your brand, right? You have your personal brand on why you're famous. Like, let's say for me, it's horseman type of Asian, and you might become trapped in that character, but how to diversify from that character, you know, is just doing it one by one, literally one by one, introducing your audience to your other sides of you. But always staying in that character is can be beneficial, because be thankful that people have at least something that they know you from. But then if you don't know how to leverage that to reintroduce yourself fully, that's a problem. So all of this is going to be in my AI startup, guys. It's just like basically like a learning interactive lessons on marketing, basically from A to Z, but it's personalized, and then you can view the full course as well. What I see with many people in the social media industry, the how like detrimental it is for your mental health, you know, because you always strive for like a certain number of views and likes. Like, I swear, no matter at what stage you are, it always bothers you. So for me, making a space like an AI startup that I'm building, where you can, you know, share that and read about that to remind yourself that this is not important, and that everybody does care. And so what would be my solution and my opinion on how to solve a situation like this, where you're stuck in that, you know, or have this identity crisis? First of all, of course, is taking a break, is to talk to your parents, family, people that known you for a long time. And because when you speak to them, you activate that side of you, you know, that has been there since you were a kid and stuff. And then valuing relationship, this is something that I'm learning, okay? Do not ever feel, oh, I cannot talk right now because I'm busy trying to figure out my content. I cannot talk to you, mom. I cannot talk to my parents. I cannot talk to my friends because I'm so busy with like, it's true, and everybody is busy, you know, and we can be so hard on ourselves because, and we feel like there is no time ever, but all we have is one day. All we have is today, and it goes fast for everyone. So just do your best in one day. And I believe that relationships as you live and grow up is so important, and I'm not perfect at that, okay? I would like to say nobody is perfect at anything, but you can learn something from everyone. So with me, like, I'm learning to, okay, what type of people I want to keep in my life. I want a person like this, somebody who reciprocates your energy is so crucial, and somebody that gets you, somebody that gets you very. So you will always find a person like this, but once you do, you like keep them, you know, keep them around, because that will help you to activate your true authentic self, and hence you will have a good idea of who you truly are, and hence nobody online or offline can tell you who you are or how to be or how to act, once you know who you are and have a strong foundation. But once you start doing content when you're young, you know, your foundation is still building. So I think that, you know, I wanted to be a psychologist actually, so I think that definitely affects your development as a individual. Like, it's almost dystopian. It's kind of like a Black Mirror episode. It's kind of dystopian. So that's why I wanted to make this video, because I know many, you know, kids might going through this. Many, you know, people in the industry that I know, my friends, might be going through this, where this like they just feel like, okay, like I don't enjoy this anymore because I feel like I have to act this character that gives me views for this amount of years, but like now it's not really. So what am I supposed to do? You're supposed to diversify your content. You can express your true self. Like for me, it's YouTube. You can just chill and be yourself, you know. You don't have to get the most catchy hook in the first 3 seconds. You don't have to like be the most, you know, like, quick, like to the point. You can just chill. And that's why streaming as well is very attractive to so many right now, because of that reason. Is they see the real you, the real you. I also see a change coming, where it's like people want not authentic, but people want something scripted, in the sense of like they want ready like advice. But again, that's why it's so important to stay yourself, because social media is dynamic. It's always changing, evolving. You know, art imitates life, life imitates art, something like that. It's something off of that kind of idea. And it's always gonna kind of flow and change, and then this gonna be relevant, that gonna be relevant. So you cannot base your, you know, persona off of that. You have to understand that and adapt to that. It's like survival game. The strongest survive. You survive, you adapt, you learn the tricks, you do your best, and you push through. But always stay yourself. Be like, authenticity is the highest frequency. That is facts. And if you don't know how to be, how to act, how to talk, you just have to be authentic, and always speak from your heart. Always, no matter what situation it is, if you speak from your heart, it's gonna be always good, especially long term. People recognize that. And if you don't know, like, oh, I feel like I'm too rude, or I feel like I'm too nice, as long as you speak from your heart, but you're not being overbearing, you know, that will not be rude, that will not be too nice, if you know what I mean. But I think that's another topic for another video. It was such a great conversation, guys, and I'm so glad to be back, and I just love YouTube. We will stay in touch on my Instagram stories, TikTok, and my AI startup is dropping just whenever we're ready. But we're doing final touches, okay? And I'm very excited. I wish to have your support, guys, for everything. And I am working on my mixtape, so I have like a lot of songs already. So yeah, I'm not gonna give dates. It's gonna be a surprise. And I love you. Ciao.